simple. My name is Dustin. I'm so glad you're here. This stream will be starting soon, so grab your coffee, get comfortable, and settle in. We're building a strong and supportive community, so say hello in the chat, ask questions, and feel free to use super chats if there's anything that you want to see highlighted. Thank you for being here and being a part of this journey. Let's keep it positive and respectful as we connect and grow together. I can't wait to get started. Happy flippin' Sunday, everybody. It's another Sunday fun day. You're here with me. Welcome. Thank you. Sorry, so very sorry for the stupid delay. For some reason, this is not showing me any movement on the microphone. Let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello? Oh, let's see. Let's make sure everybody can hear me because I did a recording thing. Perfect. For some reason, the little indicators are not showing me that they're moving. So I had no idea that the audio was actually coming through. That being said, let's jump into the morning's episode. Thank you all for being here. Oh, we've got a lot to talk about today. Good morning again. Welcome back for another Sunday. Another day, another technical issue, but anyway, grab your coffee, settle in, let me know where you're watching from, and if you're new here, I'd love for you to subscribe and become part of this wonderful community. This morning, we're going to tackle a topic that I've been thinking about pretty much nonstop since yesterday morning, okay? So I was watching Dan, one of the friends of the channel, Dan, over at Lions Danavore Podcast, and he was sharing some ideas that really stuck with me yesterday. And not because I immediately agreed with it, because it challenged me to think. So Dan was discussing the idea that constantly thinking about food, dreaming about food, planning your next meal, and even traveling somewhere specifically to experience local cuisine could be a form of idolization or idolizing food. And my knee-jerk reaction was to disagree. But instead of dismissing it, I spent the rest of the day turning it over in my mind, okay? Because again, I'm not trying to be here somebody that's always stuck in the mindset of I know everything, because I don't. I don't have everything figured out. And when somebody comes up with an idea or they're talking about something that challenges the way that I look at something, it's hard for me not to analyze it, think about it. See, does it fit into how I think? Does it fit into something that I am, right? Should it be something that I look at? Should it be a way that I look at things? How do we learn? How do we grow? How do we learn and understand? Because again, a lot of us have to remember we're here because we took a leap of faith, right? We took a leap. We took and started doing something that is outside of the norm. We're doing things outside of what everybody thinks is normal, healthy, a lot of the things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis by switching up our diet, trying to find alleviation of a lot of symptoms that we're seeing across our lives, right? So again, I spent the rest of the day turning this over in my head. And sometimes the most valuable conversations aren't the ones where we instantly agree. They're the ones that make us stop and ask ourselves why we believe what we believe. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized that food has always occupied a central place in human history. For thousands upon thousands of years, People crossed continents in search of food. We hunted, we fished, we gathered, we migrated, with seasons, we migrated with the seasons, and eventually we cultivated crops, domesticated animals. Entire civilizations rose because of fertile land, reliable food supplies. Food has always been about more than simple or just calories or just sustenance, right? It has been survival, celebration, culture, family, hospitality, and community. At the same time, I can't ignore my own story. I am a food addict. That's something that I only really began to understand over the last few years. When I started this journey more than, almost 10 years ago, my focus was entirely on the number on that scale. Lose weight, stay keto, keep going. I wasn't thinking much about why I ate the way I did or why certain foods had such a powerful pull over me. And it wasn't until years later that I started to realize this wasn't just about weight. It's about my relationship with food itself. And that's where I think modern life changes the conversation. For most of human history, food scarcity shaped our behavior. Today, we live in an unprecedented world of abundance, unlike anything humanity has ever experienced as far as we know, as far as the human history, as far as the information that we have. We can now buy hyper-palatable foods 24 hours a day. We don't even have to leave the couch anymore. We can DoorDash. We can order it. We can have it sent directly to our house. They'll leave it at our front door. But every gas station, grocery store, checkout line, vending machine, drive-through is competing for our attention. Now, many of these foods are specifically engineered to maximize flavor, convenience, and repeat purchase. That creates an environment our ancestors never had to navigate. Now, I don't believe that these foods were originally created with the goal of making people unhealthy. Advances in food preservation, transportation, canning, refrigeration, and shelf stability solved real problems. We all but eliminated most of the world's starvation problem. They helped feed growing populations and reduce food insecurity in many parts of the world. Do we have a long way to go in others? Absolutely, but it's not a matter of having enough food. It's a matter of getting the food we have to those places. The infrastructure, the political climates of these places where people are starving typically aren't starving because we don't have enough food. They're starving because we can't get the food they need to them because whoever is in power is leveraging that starvation to their benefit. But over time, commercial incentives encouraged products that were inexpensive to manufacture, highly profitable, and increasingly easy to overconsume. It's almost like a perfect storm of us not starving to death, but now in a situation where we're eating ourselves to death. Now, I don't want to starve. I don't want to go through famine. I don't want to go through months and months and months or years of food uncertainty. But I also don't want to be in a situation that I've been in for the last 30 plus years of my own life. So at the same time, nutrition messaging became increasingly complicated and debated over sugar, fat, processed foods, and chronic disease, and all of that intensified, right? We still argue today. Even amongst the proper human diet community, we argue tooth and nail about so much. What's too much fat? What's not enough fat? What's too much protein? What's not enough protein? Should you have more lean protein? Should you have more fatty meat? Should you drink coffee? Should you have artificial sweeteners? Are you over consuming things like this diet or Coke Zero? Should you have those things? Should you just eat beef, salt, and water? Even people saying you don't even need to salt your food. We can't agree on shit. But regardless of how one interprets that history, we're left with a food environment that is very different from the ones our bodies evolved in. So where does that leave us? And I don't think the answer is the same for everyone. It just can't be. Some people need complete abstinence from certain foods because they know exactly where those foods leave. Others can enjoy occasional flexibility without losing control. That's why I don't believe one person's strategy automatically becomes everyone's strategy. We each have to understand ourselves well enough to know what keeps us healthy, what keeps us satiated, satisfied, and what quietly pulls us backwards, or what even doesn't so quietly pull us backwards. Like, what is one of those things? So one of the things that I've been thinking about is the fact that I live in a house with 8 people, 2 tiny humans and 6 grown-up humans. There's always something here. Always. Is that an excuse? I wouldn't say it's necessarily an excuse, but it is an obstacle. It's an obstacle that I have to overcome daily because I see it. I live it. I'm there. It's in the fridge. Every time I open up the refrigerator to get eggs, there's other stuff. I open the pantry to get a new jar of mayonnaise or some more beef gelatin or whatever it is that I need. There's other stuff staring me in the face. Just like when I go out into the world, I can't go grocery shopping without passing 26 fast food restaurants, 4 grocery stores, 10 gas stations, all of which are inundated and full of the things that I'm trying to avoid. Now, one of the things that Dan was talking about yesterday is the fact that he is going on vacation. He's going, I want to say he said he's going to like Italy and Rome. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. He says he's been inundated with questions asking, well, are you going to try the local cuisine? Are you going to have pizza, pasta, all of these things that's supposed to be heirloom this and healthier that, and people who can go over there and eat the same things that they would gain weight here in the States will lose weight over there. And his response should be solely to what he needs to do to be successful, to do what he needs to do to keep the clarity, to keep his motivation, to keep from being something he doesn't want to be. Now, can we all learn something from that? Absolutely. Is it necessarily a good idea if I were to go to another country to want to sample their local cuisine? I mean, there is a saying, when in Rome. Will I want to do that? Yes. Should I pick and choose what I sample? Or should I completely be abstinent? What is actually realistic for me? Without excuses, without anything, what's realistic for me? What do I need to do to maintain my goals, my outlook? How do I gate that situation? And again, it's not a cut and dry situation. It's not an easy yes, I do or no, I don't. Because to me, it's not. Because I feel for someone like me, for me personally, I've lived with me for 47 years. And I have to understand that there is nuance in the way that I look at things. It's extremely difficult for me and seems irrational for me to look at things that I shouldn't eat and call them poison. Are they poison? Some of them absolutely are. But again, we have to understand that words have power. But with power comes great responsibility. Because if I start just checking off all these things that I know I should not have, and I set my, jaw, and I'm not going to ever have X, Y, or Z again, and these may be things that I do enjoy from time to time, how do I maintain who I am? And this is what has been a biggest part of me thinking about this conversation all night. Because as a person with food addiction issues and binging issues, I have to take pause, and I have to take what he's saying seriously. I have to take what he's saying to heart. Do I have the wrong outlook? And I haven't figured that out yet. 10 years into this. I thought I had it figured out in the very beginning. I knew exactly what I was doing. The weight was falling off. I was eating meat and eggs and bacon covered everything, and almond flour made cakes and different things and pizza crusts and bacon wrapped hot dogs. And I was having broccoli and cauliflower. We were making cauliflower mashed potatoes, and we were making soups, and we were having salads, and we were doing all these things. And I lost over 150 pounds. Here I am now, for all intents and purposes, primarily carnivore. Like yesterday, all I had was my coffee, and I've been cutting back on the amount of butter and cream that I put in my coffee, not to a zero, but about half at this point. I've cut about half of that back. Now, how long will that last? I'm not exactly sure. I've been also trying to cut back on these things. I have what I have, and there isn't any more in the house. I have a couple of cans left. I think I have 3 cans left, where I was drinking a 2-liter every single day, or almost every single day. So we have to look inwards. We have to look at who we are. Where do we want to go? Who do we want to be? And I'll be transparent with you like I always try to be. And one of the things he was talking about is, I was thinking about the other day. Well, his live was yesterday. I was thinking about the day before. The day before yesterday, I was thinking about my coffee. I was thinking that I was going to go downstairs and I was going to have my waffles with eggs and cheese. And when I got down there, I decided to put some sausage patties on them as well. But I was thinking about that. Sounded delicious. I have to eat. And I'm a person that tries to keep what I eat as simple as possible. But I found myself thinking about what I wanted for breakfast. I was looking forward to a couple of the carnivore waffles with eggs and cheese. And my coffee. Now, does that mean I was idolizing the food? Maybe I'm taking what he is saying out of context. But these are questions that I have to ask myself. These are questions that I was left with after his live yesterday. Now, I have to be realistic. I did not listen to his entire live stream. I had to prepare and get ready for some other things that I had to do for the day, and I didn't have a chance to listen to all of it. So I don't necessarily think that I was idolizing the food. I think there's a difference between appreciating a nourishing meal and allowing food to become the center of your identity or the solution to every emotion you experience, because I'm still working on that last part. I'm still working on the idea that my emotions and food are tied together. We look forward to vacations. We look forward to seeing family. We look forward to hobbies. I don't think looking forward to breakfast automatically means something has gone wrong. And speaking of food being tied to emotions, today is my grandmother's birthday. She passed in 2022 at the age of 90. She would be 94 today. I miss her. And it's going to be one of those things that I'll have her on my mind all day. Will my emotions get the better of me today? Hopefully not. But it's definitely something that I have to consider, something that I have to take into consideration, something that I have to prepare for. Now, do I think Dan touched on something important? Absolutely. Sometimes we can let food become our identity. We see it in this community. And it could be a tough pill to swallow, that letting, being keto, carnivore, ketovore, whatever label we choose becomes such a large part of who we are that we forget why we started in the first place. The label isn't the goal. The goal is better health, greater freedom, and a life where food supports us instead of controls us. And I think that's where Dan and I agree pretty much more than we disagree. If he even, like I said, I only heard a little bit, so maybe I'm putting words in his mouth, and I don't want to do that. As I imagine he'll show up here eventually and be in the chat. Now, whether or not he hears all of this is a whole other story. Will he go back? Will he listen to the replay? I don't know. So this morning, I don't have all the answers. And I'm certainly not the one to be here to tell you exactly how much you should think about food or exactly what your relationship with food should be like. Because that's a personal journey that you have to undertake. That's a relationship with food you have to cultivate. How do we cultivate healthy relationships? Setting boundaries, understanding, communication. But what I do know is that every one of us has a relationship with food, and it's not, and it's worth examining, right? Not with guilt, not with shame, but with curiosity and purpose. Because the better we understand ourselves, the better choices that we can make. So again, I hope you have your coffee this morning. I hope it's delicious and hot. And again, where are you watching from if I don't already know who you are? If you are a person just watching, just say hello in the chat. Just let us know you're here, because that means the world to us. New people, people who are watching, people we don't always hear from. I know that there's a good number of people who watch and never comment, but I know that they're there. Robin and Callie, love you very much. And I know that you're listening almost always, but don't always come in the chat and say hello. I know that there's a lot of people out there listening and watching who may never comment. But it's important that we know you're there. So join us. Join the conversation. And I raise my coffee glass to you because this is what we do. Do we look forward to coffee? Do we have an unhealthy relationship with coffee, or is coffee just one of the perks of life? How do we look at it? How do we navigate the vast landscape that is food, our relationship with food, the quality of food? Because it's gotten to the point now where we understand what food is, what food should be, and being able to afford what we want and having to make certain sacrifices with our dollar, with our paychecks, and buy, to the best of our ability, the best food that we can. Well, how is that? All right. Now, I don't know if me restarting this thing and all these things is going to show me all of the initial comments, but Brian Airy was here, or Brian Airy is here. Hello, my friend. And Aaron, the Carnivore guy, is here. And John, the Smoothie, is here. Hello, my friend. And Angie's is here. Hello. Good morning, y'all. Happy Sunday. Is everyone ready for fall? Yes, I am ready for fall. I am ready for hoodies. I am ready for comfy slippers. But I kind of feel like I haven't even got a chance to enjoy summer. And summer break is essentially over in this house. Summer break ends this week. Monday is Meet the Teacher night for our little girl, our granddaughter. And Wednesday, school starts back up. And so does soccer. So the summer, regardless of the calendar, is essentially over. The Indiana State Fair is almost here. That signifies the end of summer, even though summer goes until September the 21st. But I love pumpkins and spooky season. We're just a week or two off from Mickey's Not So Scary season at the Magic Kingdom at Walt Disney World. I'm excited for that, even though I don't get to attend this year. As far as I'm aware, you never know what might happen, though. I might win the lottery, should I ever decide to play. But Lynn is here. Good morning, my dear. How are you, Lynn? Looking forward to seeing you again very soon. Mr. Brian Dish is here. Good morning, my friend. How are you? Jeff is here. Donna Ray is here. Hello, Donna Ray. How are you, my dear? So glad that you could join us this morning. There is Evelyn. Good morning, Evelyn. One of the best people that I've ever met in my entire life. Right there, her and her husband are one of the best peoples that I've ever met in my entire life. I get to see them again very, very soon, like 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Excited about it. Is it even 2 weeks? Yes, it is 2 weeks. Yes, 2 weeks from now. And everyone's saying hello to everybody. There we go. Mr. Charger, Rick Mopar guy is here.
Rick. Let's get dangerous.
You guys are awesome. Thank you for being here again today. Mr. Brian Doyle is here. Good morning. Currently on number 8, getting ready to make the turn, walking again. 18 holes at dawn. Gotta love it. You are killing it at life, my friend. I'm so glad that you're out there and you're living your best damn life, my friend. Thank you for sharing that with us. And Donna's asking Jeff how his fast is going. Did you cave in and have bacon gravy or stay strong? I'm curious about bacon gravy. Sounds delicious. What's going on with bacon gravy? This is all, yeah. So I was having audio problems for some reason. I don't know what was going on, but it wasn't showing me that it was seeing my audio. Because normally there's like a little down here, there's a little microphone symbol. And when I talk, it populates and shows me that there's like levels. so I could see that it's hearing me, but I had no idea that it could hear me. So I didn't want to go live and just be sitting here talking and you couldn't hear me. Brenda Foley's in the house. Good morning, my dear. I hope you are doing wonderful. As I hiccup, I got the hiccups this morning because I'm full of hot air, full of hot gas. Oh, yeah. Jeff Fuss is still fasting down array. I have everything to make it, so it's going to happen. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. And Evelyn is asking Jeff how long he's fasting for. How long are you fasting for? We make it sound like one of those 90s Disney movies. Yes. Yes. Water fast, 42 hours. You can do 42 hours. I can do 42 hours without even thinking about it. Well, probably not. Now has been my fasting muscle has been underutilized in the last year or so, 2 years. I usually fast 7 days a year, like a 7-day fast every year. Try to do 1 or 2 of those, but I haven't done it yet. I need to squeeze one in before vacation. What do you guys think? Would anybody be interested in doing a 7-day fast sometime between now and October? Do you think? Would you be interested? Aaron is here. Good morning, Miss Booby Goats. How are you doing, my friend? So very glad that you are here with us this morning. Yes. Yes. And John's on a 38-hour fast. All right. Get it, my friend. Oh, yeah. Everybody's saying that we can hear me because it's very important. All right. And everybody's still saying hello to everybody. Jerry is here. Hello, Jerry. Loud and clear. I am old here. Yes, yes, indeed. Yes, yes, indeed. How are you? Did he wake you, Jerry? I'm loud enough to wake Jerry. Aaron says, as the great Marv Levy says, where else would you rather be right here, right now? Well, that's a loaded question. But I would most rather be right here, right now, because this is where I'm at. Yes, everybody hit the thumbs up, the like button, share this out with all your friends and your enemies and your frenemies. Brian's asking Dustin, is Bill high-calorie human near Pennsylvania? I don't know where he is in Pennsylvania. I don't know. I'm sure he's mentioned it, but I don't know if he's like Pittsburgh or if he's Philadelphia. I don't know. There's Mr. Biscuit. How are you doing, my friend? So very glad to see you. I feel like it's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've seen Mr. Biscuit. So glad to see you. And Wellness is here. Hello, my dear. How are you? So very glad to see you today. Thank you for joining us. Aaron says, Dustin, them's fighting words, Dan. I don't know. I'm trying to be respectful. He just caused me to think about a lot of things. And I think he did the right thing. He's causing at least me to put serious thought into what he's saying. I didn't just dismiss it. And I hope that all of you will do the same thing for me. If I come with ideas and outlooks and perspectives that maybe don't resonate with you, you still swirl them around a little bit, think about them, but understand that we are all different people, different backgrounds, different perspectives, different reasons to be here. And Aaron says, I don't seek places to eat. I've been dusted by these places. No, sir, I'd rather make my own food. 100%. I understand. $100%. Aaron says, sup, biscuit, you're forever grind on my phone. Anytime I write sup, I get biscuit. Biscuit. Mr. Biscuits is here. Hello, Mr. Biscuits. And speaking of biscuits, we got Risa. Hello, Risa. How are you, my dear? I'm glad that you are here. Glad to see your beautiful smiley face. Mr. Biscuit says the wife suffered a stroke last week. Prayers for her healing and strength for family, daughters are much appreciated. Well, we're sending love and hugs, my friend. It's never easy to deal with those things, but we're here. I don't know how much we can help, but we can at least be here for you for moral support and just strength if you need it. If you need me, reach out. You know how to reach out. You can hit me up on email or Instagram or Twitter. However, there's plenty of ways to get my attention. And anybody who knows me, who reaches out to me, I will talk your damn ear off. Because that's what I do. And Sharon is here. Good morning, Sharon. So very glad to see you, my dear. And everybody's sending the well wishes to Mr. Biscuit's wife, as we should. Now, Charlie's in the house. Good morning, Charlie, my friend. How are you? Do you think recognizing vulnerability to certain food increases personal responsibility because you know what your triggers are, or does it decrease responsibility? I think regardless of the circumstances outside of us. So whatever McDonald's practices are, whatever Burger King's practices are, whatever Walmart's practices are, whatever every food manufacturer's practices are, it's still our responsibility, to the best of our ability, to navigate all of those obstacles with our own self-preservation in mind. Now, what that looks like for each of us as individuals, I'm sure could be vastly different. How do we integrate some of those things, or we integrate the enemy, if you will, for those of us who may rely on things like Walmart or burger patties from McDonald's when you're out, or Wendy's, or whatever fast food place you may prefer. Or shopping at Walmart, buying meat from Walmart versus a butcher, versus an independent rancher. How do we navigate the responsibilities that we have to ourselves when we know that we are vulnerable? There are plenty of landmines out there for us. How many of us on a yearly basis make choices based on the decisions that, or make choices and decisions based on the information that we have, to find out that the information was incorrect? So I think it increases our responsibility because McDonald's isn't responsible for me being 400 pounds. Walmart isn't responsible for me being 400 pounds. Is my mom responsible for me getting to be 400 pounds? She's the one that started me down a path of eating the way that she did. Is it her fault? Is there no one place we can put the blame? We can look at the FDA, we can look at nutritional guidelines, we can look at information we've been provided over the years. Is there blame there? There's blame in every corner. But it's still our responsibility. How we utilize the information that we gain, how we utilize the understanding about ourselves that we glean from many, many, many attempts to get to know ourselves, because we spend the most time with ourselves, we should know ourselves the best. But unfortunately, that's hardly ever the case. How many of us ate these foods going by guidelines, felt terrible, and didn't question it? Why do I feel bad? Oh, is that just because I'm getting older now? I'm 30 or I'm 35, so this is how I'm supposed to feel. Now, again, our personal responsibility is with the knowledge that we know we need to do better for ourselves. And I did try to do better for myself for a lot of times. Eating more fish, eating less red meat, eating more, never eating more veggies. Never eating more veggies. That was something not really until keto did I really start eating veggies, because, potato doesn't count as veggie, right? Rice doesn't count as a veggie. I mean, rice does grow like a vegetable, but it's not a veggie. I ate a lot of fish, I ate a lot of rice. But a funny anecdote with me eating rice and fish. I was working at a warehouse, a music distribution warehouse, and I was going through a phase where I was eating a lot of tilapia. I would just get frozen tilapia, pour a little bit of water in a pan, fill the pan with tilapia, like 4 or 5, maybe 6 fillets of tilapia, fillets for those fancy folks out there. Fillets of tilapia, lots of crushed red pepper, and then I would take 2 bags of boil and bag rice. Sometimes it was brown rice. I was being healthy, brown rice, even though we know that it's the least healthy of between white and brown rice. Because why would white rice be such a huge, cultural phenomenon in other countries and other continents? We would think that we knew better by eating brown rice. But I digress. But that being said, I was doing time-restricted eating without even thinking about it. Eating fish, rice. That would be about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. I'd be up to about 6. Go to bed, get up about 2 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Get showered, get dressed, get ready to go to work, be at work by 4, and not have my first meal until 8 p.m. So between 8 p.m. and about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, I had 2 meals typically. So 8 o'clock, so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. So I was doing an 18-6. Without even realizing or even knowing what that was. And I slimmed down some. Did I get skinny? I haven't been skinny since I was a little tiny kid. Do I ever think I'm going to get skinny? I have no idea. Most likely not. But it's still something to think about. Angie says, shoot, I'm still trying to figure out what works for my body. I would not be able to know what everyone else needs. We're in this together, right? 100%. 100%. Evelyn, my sentiments exactly. I missed you last week, Mr. Biscuit. Like I say, if you need anything, let us know. You can reach out to me individually. We can talk. We can do whatever you may need. Mr. Lewis is here. Hello, Lewis. How are you doing, my buddy? Very glad to see you, Lewis. Oh, my goodness here. Jerry says, my thoughts on food are too quiet to notice noise. Now, food noise is generally gone from me. I don't really have the food noise. The noise isn't there. But what I see with my eyes is there. Does that count as food noise? Is seeing it and being inundated and even being offered food on a daily basis? Is that is that food noise? Because I can make excuses all day that, I am offered food and it is in the house and I can eat whatever I want in this house. From frozen pizzas to whatever. Ramen. There's always ramen noodles in the house. And ramen noodles shouldn't be something that I like or want. But I really loved ramen as a kid and still do. Oh, let's see here. Mr. Biscuit says, thanks all. It was a scary week with pronounced aphasia and limited mobility, but stable now, and prognosis shows good chance of recovery from all damages. Well, we're keeping you in our thoughts, my friend. And know that we are here for you if you need to talk for real. I don't just mean that in some kind of arbitrary, flippant manner. Charlie says, panda massage, Italian noodles. Yes, 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 yes. Homemade by some grandma in the back kitchen. Reese's says, when I'm on vacation, I will enjoy a little something that I don't normally eat. When I return, I go back to my normal food patterns and flavors. Yes, I try to stay mostly good on vacation because I don't want to feel bad on vacation. I like to go and sit. I actually get more sun on vacation, get outside more on vacation. This year, vacation, we're going to the beach, even though the logistics of this year's vacation leave a lot to be desired. Typically, when we go on vacation, because Chandra gets so very few vacation days, we try to maximize our vacation. Typically, she gets so there's 2 weeks in fall break, and that's when we're going to this vacation, is during the middle of fall break. During fall break. And so the weekend in the middle of fall break is the one that Chandra will take off. Typically, we leave as soon as we possibly can after she gets off work on the Sunday shift, whether that's a Monday or a Tuesday. Usually, sometimes she's home on Monday, rests, gets packed, and then we leave on Tuesday. Now, we are not leaving until sometime Friday because our daughter and her fiance want to get married on their 10-year anniversary. So, that's logistical problem number one. We need to be packed and ready to go to leave as soon as they are done with that. So we need to pick up the rental car the day before on a Thursday. so that we can be ready to go and rock and roll as soon as they're done with their nuptials, because they're doing a courthouse thing. Our son and, at that point, daughter-in-law will be flying in to Mobile the Saturday in the evening from Japan. They're flying, I think, Japan to somewhere, to Toronto, from Toronto to Mobile. Then Mobile, I'll go pick them up and then drive them back to be with us. Another logistical issue. So we're renting a big van for everyone to drive in down except for Chandra and I. We're taking our van. Everybody will be, and another logistical issue, our daughter and future son-in-law want to take. They refuse to hear anything about it. They want to take the dogs. They have 2 dogs, and they are insisting that they take the dogs, which severely limits our choices and where we rent. Most of the big resorts that we like, we can't because they don't allow dogs. So another logistical issue. So not only that, are the time constraints. Then we're there a very few days, and then Shandra and I have to leave before everybody else does, because Chandra has to work Saturday, so we have to leave in time for her to get back Friday, in a reasonable time Friday, to get rest enough and get things together, food cooked and packed, so that she can go to work that Saturday. So we don't even get a full week of vacation, where we would normally get like almost a week and a half out of the 2 weeks, just because of the travel and the driving. So logistical nightmares are ensuing here. Now, the daughter says, hey, this wasn't supposed to involve you, which this is true. Has nothing to do with me. Chandra butted in. They were going to get married and drive and go to Atlanta for a couple of days with the kids. Chandra says, well, because you're going to be in Atlanta, or you're planning to go to Atlanta, it's not that much farther to go to the beach. Because Atlanta's about a 9-hour drive from here. So now we're all going, all 10 of us, just the 10 of us, trying to find a place to stay that allows dogs, that has enough amenities that we can enjoy ourselves in the time allotted. So there's that. So, but yes. Meeting Wellness is here. Hello, Christy. So very glad to see your beautiful, smiley, shiny face today. Glad that you could join us. And Aaron says, pasta makes me a zombie. No thanks. Again, this comes down to us as individuals. How do things impact us? Mr. Thomas, Mr. Target Prime Rib is in the house. I have been living with me for over 53 years, but was just a baby, and I don't remember most things after I drank from the bottle. I understand. My friend. Yes. Oh, everybody's saying hello to everybody still, and I'm 35 minutes behind in the chat, and that's okay. Angie says, if I ever get to travel, I would definitely sample their cuisine. I would have to be disciplined about it, but understand that it's not an every single day thing. Yeah, I mean, there's a pizza place that we like down in Alabama that the kids want to get at least twice while we're there. Now, again, we're there from Saturday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and then we leave. So we're there 4 days, 4 nights. And it's a long trip and a lot of hassle. Kind of makes me upset. Makes me upset. A lot of planning going into not enough payoff. Kind of feel like we're getting gypped here. Not enough beach time. So like if it rains one day, that's a quarter of our beach day gone. 2 days, 50%. I don't know. I'm fortunate to be able to go to the beach at all, but the time constraints are frustrating. Lewis says, I visited Europe last year and did not waver on my diet. I still had a wonderful time filled with experiences that did not involve food. I don't regret not having a croissant in Paris. There were things that I would want to have and things that I would probably be like okay about. Like, I don't know, being Italy, wherever, like, you know, like if you're in Napoli and not getting a Napoli's pizza, those are, I mean, food to me has always been a thing that I have been very loving of food. So, I don't know, it would be very difficult for me to be somewhere and to not enjoy some of the local cuisine. Like being in the Philippines and not getting street food. Being in Japan and not getting like real Japanese food, sushi, whatever. It would be very difficult for me. And that's me being 100% transparent and honest about it. Because it would be very difficult for me, regardless of if I was going to not do it or not. Because even if I said, you know, I'm not going to eat anything while I'm there that's off plan, is that realistic for me? These are truths. These are things we have to deal with. Thomas says, I just walked the track, now outside with some coffee. I love it. I have some coffee and it's a lot still here. And Aaron says, I feel too good eating carnivore. I don't think I would be tempted. I'd just eat meat or fast. Besides, food isn't the end-all, be-all. And you're right. You're 100% right. Oh, man. Messing up stuff. Oh. Yeah. Thomas is asking whose live are we talking about? I was talking about that Lions Danavore podcast yesterday. Aaron says, I'm a couch potato, but I don't eat potatoes. I understand. And Charlie says, I think we're all guilty of using certain foods to numb emotions in ways that aren't always aligned with our intended long-term goals. 100%. I imagine even some of us use carnivore foods to numb, like we eat a steak or we have eggs or whatever. I mean, they're still utilizing food to try and cover up other things. It's just not as much of an issue because it's not pudding cups or a half gallon of ice cream. It's a couple of steaks or some eggs or some pork rinds or whatever. Josephine is in the house. Hello, Josephine. So very glad to see you, my dear, all the way from the other side of the planet. It's pretty crazy that you are that far away, but yet so close to our hearts, dear. Charlie says, sometimes I have an emotional support steak, medium rare. Sometimes I have emotional support pepperoni and cheese. Sometimes I have emotional support hot dogs. You know what I mean? Sometimes, just sometimes we do these things. Oh my goodness. Booby Goat says, breaking my fast with 2 ribeyes upset the TikTok audience. The comments are hilarious. Eat a potato, break a fast with fruit, dear Lord. That's the TikTok. That's the TikTok. That is the TikTok. Rick's always says hello. Thomas says, I am from Planet New Jersey. I love it. Linda McDaniel is here. Hello from Michigan. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. I'm so glad to see you. Welcome. Evelyn says, it's harder to overeat keto carnivore once you're adapted, but it's possible, especially if stuffing down emotions. I have found my emotions are healthier nowadays because of keto. Yes. And to me, like the keto treats and the keto things that I would eat, like if I got Quest bars, I mean, is that really keto? No. But like mug cakes and all the things that we eat and enjoy, those things can be easily overeaten. I was looking at Joe Duff. If anybody remembers the early days of keto YouTube, Mr. Joe Duff had a bunch of cool like dessert recipes, like mixing cocoa powder with almond flour and like melted chocolate chips and probably some butter in there and making like brownie batter out of it. We made that a bunch. Was that as much as we were eating? Was it keto? Absolutely not. Did it help us stay on track? Sure. 100%. Because we weren't eating real cookie dough. Because before keto, we would... Okay, tell me how bad does this sound? We would have our daughter make up a batch of cookie dough. We had this big yellow bowl, like kind of how our friend over Victor. He's not Southern Keto anymore. He's just Victor Prince. But Victor has Old Yeller. If you ever watch any of his old videos, he talks about Old Yeller. He has an Old Yellow bowl. Now, our Old Yeller was a bigger bowl than that. It was about this big. And we would make cookie dough, and we would just have a spoon in there. And we would just pass it back and forth along the couch while we watched TV. Take a couple of bites, pass it. Take a couple of bites, pass it. It would come back your way. But woo, just eating cookie dough, raw, fresh cookie dough. Yeah, we did that, and it was delicious. It just was. I can't lie and say we didn't like it because we kept doing it. So obviously it was delicious. Targets. Thomas, I'm just listening to Find Intelligent Life. You will not find it here, my friend. I am not an intelligent person. Probably so, maybe, but not by a whole lot. Sue, Smokey Bear Lover is here. Hello. Glad to see you. Hello. I'm a listener, but not a chatter from Wisconsin. Well, thank you. Thank you for letting us know you were here. I truly appreciate you. Thank you so very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, Jerry's another Wisconsin cheesehead. You know, I've never been to the Cheese Castle. You pass the Cheese Castle as you're coming up into Wisconsin before you hit, I think it's before you hit Racine. But you see the Cheese Castle. I've never been to the Cheese Castle. Is it worth a trip? Should we one time go to the Cheese Castle? My favorite stop in Wisconsin is Woodman's. I love Woodman's. Woodman's is great. Has anybody here besides Jerry ever been to a Woodman's? I love Woodman's. Aaron is getting a stress test tomorrow. No caffeine for the next 24 hours. Well, I wish you incredible luck, my friend. You can do this. You can do it. Lewis says, amazing. Back to school. Here in NYC, kids don't go back until September the 10th. Well, we are on a balanced calendar. I think every school district has to do 180 days of school. I think that's kind of a or somewhere into that range, 180 days of school, 180 class days. Our kids get basically essentially 2 months for summer break. Then they get 2 weeks for fall break, 2 weeks for winter break, and 2 weeks for spring break. So That's how we did it. It's how we do it. It's a balanced calendar. Sue says, hi, Jerry. I have met you in Montello. Look at that. Y'all know each other. How about that? Thomas says, my birthday is September the 10th, the day before, or September 20th, the day before summer ends. Well, look at that. One last hurrah to end the season. I love it, Thomas. I hope you enjoy it. And Christy says, nope. Fall is back to school. First day for us is August the 10th for teachers and 12th with students. 27th year teaching for me. Good gracious. I'm surprised that you have, it's just, I know, knowing what teachers put up with, I don't understand how you've done it. But that just goes to show you're an amazing person and should be revered. Yes, yes, yes. Aaron loves hoodies. I have my emotional support hoodies. I don't know, mine disappear. The kids steal them and then they disappear, never to be seen again. And I do the laundry. How is that even a thing? I do the laundry and my clothes disappear. They steal my stuff. I like hoodies a little bit on the bigger side. So if anybody ever wants to donate all black zip up hoodies that are thick and comfy to me, send them to my P.O. box 34X. I like them a little bit bigger. You can do that. Send me an emotional support hoodie. I would appreciate it. It doesn't have to have anything on it. It doesn't have to be just a thick, comfy, black hoodie. Zip up. I love it. Emotional support hoodies. That's what I love. Aaron's asking, who loves the smell of campfire on a hoodie? I do, unless I'm doing something like I'm like, I need to wash this. Yes. Karen Harrington is in the house. Hello, Karen. Hello, Karen Harrington. Aaron goes, do you remember when Jerry couldn't get her mic to work? I called those silent films. Oh, my goodness. I love it. Craig Lucas 765 is here. Big up, Dustin. Hello, my friend. How are you? So very glad to see you, Craig. And Stacy is here, catching up for you for a bit with my coffee, 30 ounce with 3 quail eggs, 2 tablespoons of butter, caramel salty, scoop of collagen before getting ready for church will be Ken's first public outing. Well, I love both of you. I'm thinking about you each and every day, and I hope that you are both recovering and doing well, both of you. Because you are an integral part of this community, and we love both of you. And Thomas says, I might be interested, Dustin, but not this week. Yeah, I'm not doing it this week. I've got to prepare some. I've got to prepare. Yeah, I'll let you know what I'm thinking. I'll let you know what I'm thinking. We'll do 7 days. And Craig says, I do a fast. Doing a fast, I do it most days because I don't have any food. Well, I'm very sorry about that, Craig. Very sorry about that. Evelyn may be interested in a 7-day fast. It's got to break on a Saturday or a Sunday. I do a 60-hour fast now. I love that. Angie is also interested in a 7-day fast. I'm going to try a 5-day fast in the first week of August. I love it. That doesn't work for me because I will be going on. We are having a meetup a meetup, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. There will be a meetup here in central Indiana, Avon, Indiana. Is this what I'm looking for? There we go. A meetup in Indiana at Buffalo Wild Wings on August the 8th. It's shaping up to be a pretty awesome turnout. I've had posted this on my Facebook and my YouTube and in the Dr. Barry private group. Quite a few people are coming. At least 7 people from Dr. Barry's private group say that they are thinking about coming. Kelly is talking about coming. Amy is coming down. So many wonderful people are going to be there, and I cannot wait. Cannot wait for that. Super excited to be with all of you. Yes. And Aaron says, for anybody who does a 5 to 7 day fast, do you weight train during that? If I was in the process of weight training, I probably would. But that is not something that I am doing right now. And Stacy says, I'm no fasting for me beyond 18 to 20 hours. 100%. We have to do what is best for us individually. And I support that. Brian Airy says a 48-hour water fast, starting a 62-hour sardine fast this evening. I wish you luck. How many cans of sardines are you eating each day? Very curious. 72 hours, so 3 days. And look at this. Jerry giving Evie the accolades. I love hearing your evolution, your strength, your determination throughout the years. Proud of your accomplishments and journey. Yes, 100%. And Sharon says, I know that if someone doesn't accept that everything in life is spiritual, then that's a level they won't come to comprehend. That's where others have to understand and lend grace. Well, I think we are all owed grace, and we all owe grace to each other, regardless of your spirituality. Because I think you can have grace without spirituality. At least I look at it that way. I think that we all, as humans, have to understand that each and every one of us, regardless of our circumstances, are genuinely going through the same stuff. It may look a little bit different, but we all have emotions. We all have issues. We all have problems. We all have all the things that we're dealing with. And we all have to remember that you may be seeing somebody on their worst day. Donna says, I don't do a proper sardine fast, Brian, because I mix things up with my sardines. I could go a long time eating them the way, though, except that I have bacon for breakfast every morning. It works. Still works for you. Stacy is going to the Cincinnati Healing Humanity on Tuesday. Who else is going? I have 2 extra tickets that nobody has claimed for the Indianapolis screening of Healing Humanity on Monday. If any of you wish to join me at the movies on Monday to see Healing Humanity, I know that at least me and Brett and Carrie are going to be there. I'm sure there's going to be multiple other people that are going to be there that I'm not familiar with, because this is being headed up by Brett. I just told him that I would help showcase and help promote it to make sure that people show up. And that's what I'm doing. I do have 2 free tickets. If anybody wants to join me Monday, let me know. Let me know. Be my guests. I would love it. Josephine says, the painting I to myself, something about it being messy, but I remember I don't like space. I want to go to space, but I don't think that's what you're talking about. Aaron, it's time to get ready to umpire. Need to suit up. Have a great day, Aaron. Be safe. And have a good time, my friend. Thomas says, I just told my boss I believe it would be a good idea to put me 1 day a week for 8 hours instead of just 4, as long as I am getting a break between and off the day before and after. He said he will. Interesting. Get after it. Thomas says he does it with 2 days at 4 hours and 1 day at 8 hours, giving me 16 hours a week. I love it. And Evelyn says there are different fasts. Maybe if you don't think you can go 7 without food, you could do a stricter diet than usual. Keto, carnivore, Lions, sun up, sundown, protein sparing. There's all kinds of protocols that we can take. And one of the things, now I forget who I was listening to. Forget who's that's the problem. I get to where I listen to so much stuff that I forget where I heard what. We were talking about like protein sparing modified fasts, and like you're supposed to be like 2-day fasts, and like, well, if 2 days is good, then 5 days has got to be even better. No, I don't know. Just things like that, like taking things and going overboard with them sometimes, I think, is what we do here. Humans do. Carl is in the house. Hello, my friend Carl. Dogs have been fed and pottied. Keto food, by the way. I have my coffee with keto brains, and I'm ready to discuss the idolization of food. Yes, indeed. Kelly says, good morning, Dustin, and everyone listening while driving to church. I appreciate that. You've probably long made it to church by now, because I am 30 minutes behind in the chat. That's what I do. I'm just behind all the time. Thomas lost 4 pounds this week. I love it, Thomas. I love it, love it, love it. Stacy says, right, Charlie. I am responsible for my addiction. I can't blame anyone else for me getting to 400 pounds. I give myself credit for losing 240, but I did use stepping stones that I needed to lose. I think that we have to give ourselves grace there. And we have to understand that when we start, we don't know the same amount as when we finish. And realistically, there's never is a finish. You're just never done. You may be done losing weight, so to speak, but you're never done building your health. And again, most of us start this path as a weight loss journey instead of a health building journey that causes us to lose weight. And I think that's a better way to look at things. It's a better way to understand things. It's a better way to show ourselves grace, because we're going to have missteps. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to have bad information, whether it's from influencers or from product labels or whatever the case may be. We're going to have bad information. Maybe the information is good, but it doesn't work for us as individuals. Josephine says, 22 little ducks. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, please. Yes, wonderful. Do please hit the thumbs up and share this with people. I love it. It means the world to me. Marisa says, I can't blame my parents for my love of food. I can only blame myself. I can only blame myself and our government for what they allow in our food. I am guilty of eating all the things my love for all things carbs. Yeah, I think we are, this is a very experimental time in human history. This is a very unprecedented time in human history. We are the ones, unfortunately, kind of put in a position that we are kind of the guinea pigs of human history here. Not that there has been a lot across time and space when it comes to all these things, but when it comes to our food supply, as I said in the beginning, we were part of a situation where we all but eradicated starvation. But with that created a new problem, a host of new problems. And what's that they say? They say that most of the world's atrocities were created with, here, let me get that quote correct, because I can't remember the quote. Let's see. Let's see, what's the quote? The phrase, the road to atrocities is paved with good intentions. So what were we trying to do? We, as a society, were trying to, with good intention, standardize food, make food available for everyone. Even when it comes to a lot of the guidelines, most people involved with the guidelines had good intentions behind it. Do I think that with all of his flaws that, oh, shucks, what's his name? The 7 country study or whatever, that he did this without good intentions? Do you think that he may have been trying to become somebody famous and well-known, but he also was probably rooted to the idea that he was on the right idea, the right path, that he was trying to eliminate heart disease, and he was sure that it was saturated fat. How many atrocities have come out from good intentions? We are in an unprecedented time. We have an unprecedented amount of food. Even when it came down to the pandemic and the grocery stores were virtually empty, there was still food. There was never a time where our grocery stores were completely 100% barren. And they weren't barren for very long. They were refilled. Were there times where we had low toilet paper and things like that? Sure. But that was more panic buying than it was anything else. But we are in a situation now that we haven't had to deal with. So we're learning this firsthand. This is our first rodeo with this. We are the pioneers here. We are coming out of the obesity epidemic. We are coming out of this epidemic with a basic understanding of what's wrong and how do we fix it. It's going to take a long time, but we are kind of the forerunners of that, right? That's how I look at it, at least. I think we are kind of revolutionaries here. We are kind of at the forefront here. How do we take back health of all the people? We're the ones trying to figure this out. We're the ones here doing these live streams. We're the ones making content, videos, posting on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok and all these places, YouTube, and we're trying to make a difference. We're having these important discussions amongst ourselves. Aaron says, I got to chug this coffee and get my exercise on. Not leaving yet. I love it. Bacon runner is freezing chilly cold. I understand that. Oh, let's see. Reese is talking about Jerry. I will be chatting at Kelly's Live today, hoping to be back from the farmer's market by then. Today is the first day of my vacation week. Jerry thinks winter sucks because she lives in the Great White North. You live in Wisconsin. How many of those videos did we see this year of you driving on the tundra, driving over solid white pavement, deep snow, ice, and all that stuff? If you love heat that much, move to Florida. I don't mind the winter. I need the seasons. The seasons are important to me. I need it to be cold sometimes. I need it to be hot sometimes and just chill sometimes. Jeff has ordered his ticket to Cincinnati Healing Humanity. Hope to see Stacy and Ken. Well, they will be there. Give them a hug from me, please. I appreciate that. Give them a hug from me. I would greatly appreciate that. Rick is finally here. Good morning, Rick. Glad you could join us, sleepyhead. But you've probably been awake for hours, but that's beside the point. But welcome, my friends. So very glad to see you. Oh, my goodness. Hi, everybody. Evelyn says, celebrating a Carniversary and going live later today, Kelly. Kelly is celebrating, so be sure to join Kelly. I do believe, I don't know. I have a channel linked. Let me see who I have linked here. I can't remember who I have linked to. After this live, I have a live set up to go. Let's see where that is. Let me know what's going on. Let's see. Because I don't remember. I set this stuff up and then go to bed. So that's how things work in my brain. I set things up and I go to bed. I did tag Dan. I have Sunday Carnivore accountability meeting on here. I have that at 11 a.m. today. So that's linked to redirect. Okay, all right. Maritza says, hi, Dustin, I can hear. I'm so glad you can hear. And Kevin is here or was here. I hope you're enjoying the show, my friend Kevin. So glad to see you. Shared on Reddit. I appreciate that very, very much. Trying to just scroll through and make sure I'm not missing any important comments or questions. Carl says, I don't eat to full satiety. If I don't eat to full satiety, anything in life can trigger me to eat off plan. But if I stuff myself, I don't burn fat and have to stay super, super active. I don't know. Yeah, Joe Duff was great. He disappeared. I don't know what he's doing now. Let's see. Can we Google that? What is Joe Duff doing now? He had 395 followers on Instagram. Is he posting stuff? Let's see. I hate that this doesn't show me when they posted these things. I have no idea when these things were posted. So I can't tell, like, has he been making content for a while? Maybe I can do it on my phone. I think my phone will tell me better. Let's see. I hate to pull up my phone when I'm doing this stuff, but you know how it goes, right? Let's see here. Yeah, he's not posted on here since 2023. He had a kid in 2023, it looks like. Looks like he lost his father in 2023. So, yeah. I don't know what he's doing now, but he hasn't posted. I don't think he's put any videos up in a long time. The video that I was talking about the brownie batter stuff, the keto brownie batter, was like 7 or 8 years ago. So, yeah, I have no idea what he's up to. Let's see. Yeah, on YouTube, he had 600,000 subscribers and 550 videos. Let's see. I don't know if he's still making this stuff or what's going on here. I can't tell. Yeah, his webpage is copyright 2021. So, yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. He just disappeared. It's kind of what happened with that's kind of what happened with Butter Bob. He just disappeared. He just disappeared. Yeah, the Mars Cheese Castle. Is that worth a visit? Is it, Jerry? Let me know. Mr. SD Bradley is in the house. Hello, my friend. Glad to see you. Good morning, all. Just got done replacing the battery in my daughter's car. What a way to begin the Sunday. You know what? At least you're in a position to help her, and she had you to help her and all these things. It's fantastic. I love it. I do that stuff to our kids all the time. Karen is off to put 2 cookie sheets of bacon in the oven. I need to cook some bacon today. I'm in the mood for some bacon today, folks. I'm in the mood for some crispy, yummy, delicious bacon. I got some in the fridge. I need to cook it soon. I am hungry for the bacon. Kelly says, I am celebrating 2 years on Carnivore and having an open panel on my live today at 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern. Looking forward to everyone to be there. Yes, I love it. Everybody should be there. Oh, my goodness. Angie loves her Bigfoot hoodie. It's a 3X, and even though I don't need that size anymore, I will never give it up. I love gigantic hoodies. They're big, they're comfortable, they're comforting. It's like me in fabric form. Does that make sense? I need it. And Kelly's channel is down here. Sean just subscribed. Has everybody subscribed to both High Calorie Human as well as Big Guy Grind? Have you guys subscribed to both of those? Those are the 2 people that I've had on the last 2 weeks. Hope you've subscribed to them. Hope you're following them. Hope you're encouraging them just like you do me. Yesterday I had a live and I had Bill from High Calorie Human on. And I hope that you go back, and if you didn't watch it live, you go back and watch the replay. A lot of important information there. Truly, truly awesome stuff. Lynn is coming to my meetup, and so is Rick and Evelyn. Yes. Papa Carnivore Pete is in the house. Hello, Papa Carnivore Pete. So glad to see you. Risa wishes she lived in the Midwest so I could go to the meetups and usually to actually meet y'all and talk face to face. One day I will travel again. I have faith that you will. You will do what you put your mind to. You will get here and say hello and we'll high five or hug or whatever it is that you so choose. Carnivore Karen is here. Good morning, listening in for the first time. I appreciate you being here, Karen. Thank you for joining us. Welcome. So glad to see you. I love new people. Pete had a big breakfast, 5 eggs fried and a lot of butter and Aldi brand Spam. Don't like Spam. I have some Walmart Spam in my pantry. One of these days I'll make it up. Maybe I don't know. I've got to be in the mood for it. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be in the right mood. There we go. There's the man of the hour. Buenos dias, good friend Dustin. Loving the topic at hand. Sorry, just got here. About to have a kick butt workout listening to you. Yes. Go back if you have an opportunity to listen to the beginning, because this whole discussion started with your live stream yesterday, my friend. It gave me a lot to think about. And I want you to get a chance to listen to that. Let me know, whether private or here, let me know what you think. Again, like I say, I'm not hopefully not putting words in your mouth and doing things like that. But again, I just want to have these discussions because what you said gave me pause to think about where I come from, or where I'm coming from with a lot of my thoughts. Yes. Evelyn is 100% correct. Yes, Carnivore Karen, welcome. You've got lots of friends here, even if I'm far behind in the chat, 100%. Mr. Pete says, dinner tonight after work around 8:30 will be a New York strip steak seared in tallow in my vintage Griswold cast iron skillet topped with Malden's smoked sea salt flakes and a side of cold butter chunks. Awesome. I got some Chicago packing beef tallow, two packs. They have like the 2-pack little short stubby containers at Costco. I got 2 of those. They were $10 each. So 2 jars for $10 or $5 a jar. So I got me some more beef tallow because I've been using beef tallow with my eggs. Beef tallow, a little bit of butter, more tallow than butter. I love it. And Maritza is going to try to go to the August 12th Healing Humanity in Las Vegas. I hope that you get a chance to do that, and I hope you have a good time, and I hope you get to meet some cool people. Get some photos, enjoy it, shake hands, give hugs. Be one with the community. Be one with the community. That's what we're here for. Amy says, Dustin and friends, just woke up. I'm exhausted. I love it. I can't wait for Amy to share the little information that she got from the conversation that she had yesterday with Dr. Barry. That was an amazing conversation. I don't even know if you thought about sharing that with anybody, Amy, but hopefully that you do. Because it was a fascinating conversation. So if you are in the Dr. Barry private group, there are 2 levels. He does weekly live streams where he answers questions directly from you. If you are a member, there's the first tier has a meeting, and then the second tier also has a meeting. And the first tier is more chat-based. You chat your questions to Dr. Barry. Then if you're in the upper tier, then you get like a face-to-face type Zoom call thing with Dr. Barry. Like everybody asks questions, and he can see you, you can see him. And the lower tier is just you see him, but he just reads your questions via text or like chat. You know what I mean? You put a question like a Q&A tab. But Amy and I were in the second one, and she asked him a cool question. I won't give it away because it's her story to tell. But I was fascinated, riveted. It was awesome to see their dialogue and to see his response. I love it. Oh, trying to see what's going on. Oh, Amy said she did PSMF for 4 years. Did you do it every day for 4 years? Were you living PSMF for 4 years? How did that work out? That seems awful difficult. Maybe when you stopped doing PSMMF and started doing carnivore, you started to gain the weight back because you needed to. Pete says, third night wearing my new blue blocker glasses I bought on Amazon. Slept through the night all 3 nights. Incredible. I wear them after the sun goes down. And the sun goes down on my side of town. Mr. Pete says, I think PSMF for that long may have done some damage to your metabolism, but you're getting it repaired with carnivore. I would have to probably agree there. I'm sure that if you'd went that low fat, high protein for a good long time, you probably saw a reduction in weight, but it was probably an unhealthy level. And yeah. So Mr. Dan here says, innately, we are all fasting in the stage of carnivore. Eating isn't part of the overwhelming part of the equation. We eat when we're genuinely hungered. Most of the time, more important agendas in life. Yeah, eating is a piece of our day. Just like paying bills, going to the grocery, taking care of our kids, changing diapers. Eating is just as important as all those things. Though as humans, we worry about all of those things. We're thinking of what I have to do today. I've got to do this. I've got to run to the store. I've got to go to the gym. I've got to go on my walk. I got to make dinner. I got to feed the kids. What time's the husband get home? What's going on? What time's the wife get home? What's our schedule like this week? We're worrying about a lot of things. We've got a lot of plates spinning. We've got a lot of things spinning. We've got a lot of things going on in our lives, and food is one of those things. And I think we have to also understand that not everybody in this community is living full carnivore. Amy says, I tried to get off my last prescription, med singular. It was a disaster. My eczema returned very severe. I couldn't breathe, had congestion. I guess I'm going to stay on the medication. Well, I mean, I think... Was that something where was it like a controlled release? Was it like a thing where you were taking X amount and then you lowered to this amount and then you lowered to that amount, or did you just kind of stop cold turkey? Because maybe that might be something that you may need to taper off. There's certain medications that you need to taper off. And because I would talk to your doctor about that and say, I'd like to try this in a controlled manner if that wasn't already the case. Like I said, there's a little bit of information that we don't know. Evelyn says, I heard a new sleep trick. Rapidly blink your eyes 60 times to make your eyelids tired. It will make you fall asleep faster. I tried it last night at 1 a.m. and I was having another troubled night. I don't really have trouble falling asleep. My falling asleep method is I put my mask on, I roll over, I rub Chandra's back until she falls asleep, or until I forget what I'm doing and I fall asleep. But I don't really, when I'm rubbing her back, I don't usually have a hard time falling asleep most of the time. Now, sometimes I may sometimes when I go to bed and I'm not ready to be asleep yet, if I'm not tired, that's an issue. But there are just some times where I'm where we're going to bed and I'm ready to go to bed. I'm tired. I'm done for the day. And I typically sleep through the night anymore. Now that I'm utilizing my sleep mask and all that stuff, my CPAP and all that. And Amy says, I'm not sure I'll ever get off of allergy meds. But I think that comes down to what you're talking about. You're going to be talking about that Thursday. So yeah. Yeah. So what Amy's saying, she's finding that H1 and H2 blockers help with her joint pain. That was an amazing conversation that she had. That was pretty fascinating. Let's see. Brian Doyle says, almost done with the round. I want to report that I hit 212 pounds this week, my lowest weight in over 40 years. Oh my goodness. Congratulations, my friend. That is huge. I hope you're making a video about that, and make sure to let us know when it's coming out so we can see it, so we can support you, my friend. And Amy says that they told me when I was little there was no chance I could grow out of it, or that there was a chance that I could grow out of it or not. I'm not the camp. I'm the not camp, unfortunately. Yeah. And Dan says, carnivore discipline starts with a mindset before food. Decide why you're doing it. Remove the temptation. Don't negotiate with yourself. Have a plan. Stay consistent and focus on the long-term goals. And that works for a good number of people, but it's not going to work for everybody. I mean, we have to be realistic here. And I mean, I'm not arguing the fact that this is not sound advice, because it truly is sound advice. This is very good sound advice. That being said, it's not going to work for everybody. Just like keto is not going to work for everybody. Carnivore is not going to work for everybody. It's just not. And Amy says she's been on allergy meds since age 9. My brother used to have terrible allergies when he was a kid. I don't know how he's doing now. But like the point, he'd always carry around wet rags and keep them on his eyes all the time. Like he could just, it was just rough. And I never had that problem. It wasn't until I was very heavy that I have a lot of more allergy issues. But it was usually like more congestion and sneezing issues, and not so much like my eyes would get itchy. I would get a little itchy sometimes. That was the kind of thing that I would run into. And Pete says, Dan, it's easier said than done to stop the sugar carb rationalization. The fact of the matter is we're inundated with it. 100%. It's everywhere we go. It doesn't matter. It can be the grocery store. It could be the hardware store, the Dollar Tree. It's everywhere we go. So, yes, while most of us have improved and we are above 90% better than we ever used to be, like, kind of a callback to a thing that we talked about a couple of weeks ago here is, what's good enough? When is it good enough for us? And I think that's an individual thing that we have to learn about ourselves. What Dan may need to do for Dan, and Charlie may need to do for Charlie, and Sean may need to do for Sean, and Pete may need to do for Pete, and Donna and Jerry and Carl. We all have to find that balance, because we want to live a healthy life. We want to live a good life, but we don't want to live a miserable life. We want to live a life that is full of joy and comfort and happiness. And we want to live a life that's filled with laughter and our family and our friends and this community. But what does that look like individually? And let's see here. Pete says, if there are chocolate or potato chips, cookies in my home, it's hard, if not impossible, for me to resist the temptation. So I don't have any of that in my house. If I had my way, we wouldn't have any of that stuff in my house. But I not necessarily don't make the rules, but I don't have full control over my adult children. They're adults. They go to the grocery on their own. They bring groceries home on their own. They fill the fridge. They fill the pantry, the cabinets. There's things there's muffins and cake pops on top of my fridge right now. There's cereal in the pantry. There's cake mix in there. There's popcorn. There's everything in this house. Now, I am 90% better at evading and avoiding these things than I ever used to be. Do I still fall for temptation? 100%. it still gets me every once in a while. But this is one of those things that I have to battle myself daily. And Dan says here, step 1, make the decision, carnivore, Lions diet. Step 2, but again, not everybody's going to do carnivore, Lions diet. Not everybody is going to make that. Because for me, Lion diet may be experiment and maybe a 30-day thing, but it's not going to be an all the time thing. Naturalized fasting, that's kind of where I'm at now. Mentally change towards understanding your why and continually stay on step 4, discipline. Discipline is one of those things that comes with the satiety changes. It comes with the lowering of food noise. Discipline is, to me, a byproduct of finding what works best for you. I don't think most of us handle the idea of white knuckling our way through most things. It has to be natural. It has to feel right. And again, these are my opinions, and I've somehow my thing messed up here, and I don't know where I'm at now. I'm going to see if I can figure this out. Let me find out where I'm at here. I apologize. There we go. Okay. And Pete says, South Florida in the summer is a sauna. Yes. I don't think I would like to live that far south either. I don't think I'd want to live in Orlando. I would like to be able to live where I want, when I want to live there, like a snowbird type person. Like, I don't want to live any one place all the time. Lisa is here. Sorry, good morning, guys. Sorry, I've been MIA for a while. Life has been crazy lately, and I haven't had time to join in. Just know that we're always thinking about you. You're always a part of this community, whether you're in person or not. Hopefully, maybe you're getting a chance to watch the replays, to feel connected. Hopefully, you're doing okay. But we love you, and I hope you're doing okay, and I'm glad to see you today. Amy says, plus, my husband is retired, and I'm going to be locked up with him this winter. Since I work from home, he usually spends the day outside in the summer. Give him something to do. I mean, I don't know if, I don't know how much control you have over him, but maybe, not a honey-do list, because that annoys the crap out of me when I get left and a whole bunch of stuff that I need to accomplish for the day. I don't want that. I want to do what I need to do. I need a Dustin-do list that I need to make my own stuff and be able to follow through with it. Papa Carnivore Pete says, Joe Duff, never heard of him. Well, he's been kind of MIA since like 2021, 2023. But he was one of those early on people that I found in, 2016, 2017, one of those early people, 2018, those early people in the keto space. Yeah, Evelyn says his last YouTube video was 4 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, I'm always open for this, Stan. I love talking to you. Dustin, I think we should do a live again, touching these topics, share our differences of opinion. It's so vital to dive into diverse perspectives on the carnivore journey. Respect you all. Yeah, 100%. I mean, that was one of the things is like, when you were talking about the stuff yesterday while I was listening, I was like, I don't agree with this, but I thought about it for a long time. I sat there and I contemplated it all night, and I was like, this is what I have to talk about tomorrow. Because it made me question things. It made me like, should I be more strict with myself? Obviously, I need to be more strict with myself. I need to have more accountability. Do what I can do to have less excuses, regardless of my home circumstances. This is what I need to do. I have to be more strict with myself, but I also have to understand the realistic nature of who I am. Because if I try and do things that I know are outside of my nature, then I might fail. Obviously, I'm going to fail. I'm going to fail at a lot of things. I'm going to fail every day. We fail at things every single day. But a lot of that failure is not the catastrophic time that causes us to give up. I still haven't given up on this lifestyle with all the weight that I've gained back and the struggles that I've had for the 10 years of this lifestyle, with my ups and my downs and my successes and my failures. Growing this channel, helping, being a part of this community. I've had a lot of successes and a lot of failures, just as many, if not more, failures than I've had successes. But I've had to maintain a mindset that regardless of these failures, regardless of my successes, I have to continue. That's the only thing in this world, as far as this community and this lifestyle is concerned, is I have to continue. How strict I am, how I am with myself, all of that's completely up for discussion. The only thing that isn't up for discussion is I have to continue. I have to keep moving forward. What that looks like, what that entails, how that will shift over time, I have no idea. But I have to keep doing this. This is a non-negotiable aspect of my life, this community, this channel, this goal of trying to reach and help as many people as I can understand that the things that they're feeling, the things that they are going through are things that they can take into their own control and find success. That's paramount for me. Even when I make mistakes and eat cake or have popcorn or eat whatever's in the refrigerator or have macaroni and cheese or whatever the case is, whatever failure I reach that day, I have to maintain the idea that I have to maintain that level that I'm going to continue. I'm going to keep going. I'm not giving up because there's too much at stake, regardless of my own personal failures, my own personal inconsistencies. I have to keep going forward. I have to. Amy likes him being home. Yeah, I like. Shannon and I are at home together 4 or 5 days a week, and it's the most fantastic. I get to spend my days with my best friends. It's been summer, so I've had my 3 best friends here almost every single day with me. Chandra and our 2 grandbabies. Do they all 3 drive me up the wall? 100%. But I wouldn't have it any other way. Now, when the big girl goes back to school, things will calm down a little bit here. It'll be nice. We'll see what happens. We'll see what's going on. It's possible, but I figured I would hear something. Let's see. Let's put this in. Let's see if we can put this in. Let's see. There are no records or public announcements indicating that he had passed away. The confusion likely stems from a tragic event in his family. His father passed away in 2023. Following his father's death, Joe stepped up to take over the family business as the 3rd-generation owner of chief marketing officer of the Duff Famous Wings, a historic chicken wing establishment based in Buffalo, New York. So if you're in the Buffalo, New York area, you may know Duff's Famous Wings. Joe Duff is handling that responsibility. He continues to share low-carb and keto-friendly options through the Diet Chef website. Social media platforms, his recipes and video content are still active across the Diet Chef YouTube channel as well as the official Instagram account. So it looks like he's handling duties at his father's restaurant in Buffalo, New York. Buffalo wings, famous wings. So that's interesting. So I know those of you who may be up in the Buffalo area, maybe you've heard of Duff's famous wings. I love wings. I love them a lot. Crispy, delicious. I don't know. I love wings. I'm excited for Buffalo Wild Wings to get me some wings. Amy says he can drive me places to the store, an all-wheel drive truck. His new drive is Driving Miss Amy. I love it. I love it, love it. Terry's here. Everybody hide your valuables. Hide your wallets and rings. Terry's here. Hello, Terry. How are you doing, my dear? I pick on you so much, but it's out of love, I swear. I swear by the moon and the stars in the sky. There you go. Amy says he has a big Toyota Tundra because we live in the frozen tundra. Yes, yes, yes. Lisa's coming to the meetup. Yay. And Amy's coming too. I love it. I can't wait. Brian just says 2. 4. Terry says, Amy, there is a learning curve when the husband retires. It's weird when you find out they don't know where anything is in the house. I know where everything is in the house, and I hate when Chandra comes behind me. Like the other day, I came home from bringing groceries and went to Walmart and to Costco. I hadn't been in the store in a while, so I had a bunch of stuff. I bought chicken thighs, I bought hamburger, I bought picanha. Can you believe it? I found picanha at Costco. For the first time ever, I found picanha. Was so excited I had to send a text to both Chris and Christy. Now I got to cook it and make it delicious. Delicious. But back to the story, I had her help me bring stuff in, but I was like, I will put it away. Because when she puts stuff away, she complains, and I don't want to hear her complaining about stuff because I do my kitchen to the best of my ability to where I want it, even though everybody else messes it up and I can't handle it. I like them Dustin's way. Yeah. Amy says, Terry, I'm already going through that. He threw a bunch of my stuff out already. He's also into spray painting stuff in the garage. What? What did he throw away of yours? That would be fighting stuff. I'd be like, no. No. No, no, no. Lisa says, Dustin, I love your carnivore buns or waffles. They are my go-to and make me a batch for the week every week. I love it. I might make some today that sound delicious, don't they? I can say it. I could say it. I appreciate you, Dan, so very much. He says, listening from the beginning, this is what the part of the challenge, critically challenging 2 new levels, never be stagnant. That's the thing is we have to be on our guard, and we have to look at what works best for the individual. We have to look at what is going to make us successful. Lisa's getting ready to head to church. The doctor said, no, you can just stop it. That sounded like it was a bad plan, bad thing for you guys. Oh, because he was cleaning out the closet and not paying attention to what he was cleaning out. Oh, that made me so mad. I don't have a lot of stuff, but Chandra thinks I'm a hoarder, that I hoard things, and I don't really even have that much stuff. I mean, I have a lot of pictures and things in the garage. Like I have like totes of my mom's pictures of people I don't even know who they are in the garage. It's hard for me to, like, I didn't get anything from my mom. I didn't inherit anything from her. All I got really were the photographs from her and a few things. I have like her wooden chair from when she was a kid. And our granddaughter would sit in it and watch TV and eat. Jason Keto's in the house. Hello. And Brian Avery says, have a great day to me and everybody else. Well, thank you for being here, my friend. Whew, I'm still 15 minutes out of here. Oh, my goodness. And Lance is in the house. Hello, North Dakota Carnivore. Good morning, Jason. I'm making a small travel recipe book for my dad-in-law for Christmas. I love it. So exciting. Picking 10 recipes and getting him the dash. I love it. Let's see. Amy says, I'm lucky, I guess. And don't even want the sad food, even when it's around me, because I get sick. And when you get so much, the pain. Like, yeah, I understand that. Yeah, excellent discussions. Yeah, we have to have these talks. We have to have these conversations. It's so very valuable for people who are listening in who may be new to this. Because I don't want anybody to think that there's just one way to do something. Because I think if we get to that point, people are like, well, I tried carnivore and it didn't work for me. I tried Lion and it didn't work for me. Or I tried this and it didn't work for me, so I just went back to my regular way of eating. But there's a spectrum. There's a place on that line where you're most likely going to find a good space. Yeah. And I think it's very important that we have these conversations, because it's not just about us. It's not just about me. It's not just about Dan or Sharon or Sean or Lynn or Lance or Amy. It's about the people who are listening who don't typically chat, or the people who may find this later, maybe 2 years down the line, where they listen to this and maybe how I look at things isn't even the same anymore, because 2 years has passed. But hopefully they will get enough information out of this live stream to know that they can think and figure things out and try and see what works best for them, and that they're not locked in. Because again, the ultimate thing here is to make sure we get maximum success from maximum people. And we're not going to get that from just one way. Just like you're never going to get all the vegans to stop being vegan. You're not going to get all the paleo to stop being paleo. You're not going to get everybody off of SAD. Unfortunately, we're just not going to. There's 8 billion people. How do we get this is where I think just the single ingredient whole food, prioritize meat, have a little bit of veggies, keep carbs as low as you can to sustain you, is going to be what really triggers the most and be the most impactful for the bulk of the 8 billion people on this planet. Is carnivore going to be a significant amount of that? Possibly. We've got a lot of infrastructure to fill before we can get to that point. We need a lot more regenerative farming. We need more farms. We need more cattle. We need more meat. And we need it to be real livestock and not lab-grown stuff, not lab-generated cells. And I know that that's something that people are afraid of. We're still multi-years away from that being financially viable. We saw kind of what happened with the Impossible Burgers and the different brands. There was sausage and burger and all the things and meatballs and all that stuff, and they typically didn't sell well. I don't even know the last time I looked and see if I saw any of that stuff. I'm sure it's still there. There's still a whole frozen food section of the Morningstar stuff. But like I said, that being said, we have to be open to everyone because there's 8 billion people on this planet. And how many? 70% of them are probably unhealthy, if not more. We've got a long way to go. Have a great day, Jason. And BBA says, thanks for the advice and channel subscribed. Thanks for being a member. I appreciate that. You're one of the newest members on the channel. I appreciate that very, very much. Oh. Pete says, where I'm most vulnerable with straying off plan is after I eat dinner at night before bed. Yeah. I understand. Sometimes I'm hungry before I go to bed and I want something and I have to, and that's one of the biggest battles that I have is not eating before going to bed. Lisa says she's been suffering from extreme HBP. Let me see. I'm not even quite sure that I even know what that is. Let me look at that. Let's see. So the gallbladder and the bile ducts, so like the pillary system, is that what we're looking at here? Like the pancreas, the liver, and the biliary system, which includes the gallbladder. Is that what we're talking about? Common HPB conditions. Medical professionals evaluate both non-cancerous, benign, and cancerous malignant conditions within the system. Is that what we're talking about, Lisa? Sean says, people starting out on carnivore just need to realize bacon is always the answer. What can stop cravings? Bacon. What do you do for snacks? Bacon. What do you do when your LDL is high? Bacon. 100%. I don't keep enough bacon in the house. Let's see. I'm trying to get to where I know what's going on. People are saying hello to BBA. BBA says, hello, I've been watching from the background for a while. Well, welcome. We truly, truly appreciate you. And they're from all over. I live in New York, Maine, San Diego, Iowa. Just spent my high school years in Kennewick, Washington. And Lisa says, mostly have carnivore except for just a few romaine lettuce leaves, a few pickles, once in a blue moon sauerkraut, but otherwise just meat and Dustin's carnivore buns. I love it. And Dan says, now there's a fine line of grace and accountability. I think they go hand in hand. I think grace is a part of accountability. We have to have accountability and we have to give ourselves grace at the same time. Because we have to be accountable for our actions, but we can't be so overzealous about the accountability that we don't give ourselves grace. So are the decisions to cheat excuses or truly a mistake? I mean, we make excuses, and that's truly a mistake. We do make those mistakes, and we make excuses. I think they're all kind of rolled into one. Sometimes it's right here, it's right there, and it's in the moment. And sometimes we plan it. We plan it, and then we know we shouldn't. But I think all of these things, because we have to remember that temptation is almost always there for most of us, regardless. I mean, most of us can kind of control the temptation in our own homes, but once we leave the house, it's completely different. Or like social media, or what we look at, or what we see, or who we talk to, our family, our friends. There's so much out there that truly does dictate how well we can be accountable to ourselves, and truly the level of temptation that's in our lives. Now, we can't shut people out of our lives who bring temptation to us when it comes to food, because again, we're trying to help them. We're trying to make them better. But that comes with risks. Everything in this life comes with risk. Yeah, BBA says, I know I'm an addicted person to food. Has a tremendous pull on my life. 100%, me too. Yes. Jaheel is in the house. Hello, Jaheel. Dustin, the picture of the woman you sent me, I just realized it was a baby leg. It took me a long time. I was so hungry. I love you, Jaheel. I love you so much. Brian Dish just cooking. Dustin just cooking picanha is delicious. Don't know. I don't want to overcook any beef. I like rare food. Hopefully I can make picanha the way that it needs to be, rare and delicious. I'm in Indiana, Maritza, so I don't know if you will be able to find it. It's the first time I've ever found it here. The first time. I mean, at least since I've been looking. They may have had it before I was paying attention, but now it's the first time I found it. I'm excited about it. It's not called picanha. It's called sirloin cap, top sirloin cap. That's what it's called here. Oh, let's see. Terry says, Amy, there'll be a lot of stories to tell. My husband is more like a pet now that I feed and clean up after. It's hilarious some days. Jaheel just woke up, and now I have to water my garden. So I'm going to listen while I do that and sing like Snow White with a beard. Oh, something, something. Risa saw picanha at ShopRite, but it was cut into steaks and still overly expensive. This was $11 a pound. So in the grand scheme of things, if I can cook it just right, $11 a pound is a steal of a deal. BBA says, I'm currently 251 pounds at 5'4" doing keto. I've lost 100 pounds more than once using keto. Also currently in process of doing pre-op for gastric bypass surgery. Plan to continue keto after. Well, I wish you success and luck. I hope that you find what you're looking for with the gastric bypass. I do understand that some people just need to have that surgery. I wish they did not. I wish that it was not a thing. I wish we didn't have to have that, because it can cause so many up and talk with people who are looking on the complication side of things. Talk with your doctors about complications. I don't know if they will undersell them. I don't know what the process is. But there's a couple of people that are in and around this community that have had gastric bypass and gained all the weight back and see complications. And one of our friends in the community has just had gastric bypass reversal surgery. So she is into something. She's doing something that is kind of in a different, unprecedented spot. So I'm always, I don't want to steer people away from doing something they and their doctors have talked about and are in the process of doing. But I just want to make sure that people know the correct answers and have more questions and try to get as much information out of the doctors as they can to ensure that this is the right procedure for you. Dan says, great stuff as always. About to crush this day. God bless you, Dustin, for everything you continuously do. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you, sir. Thank you, my friend, and have a great workout. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon, my friend. And Just Jason Keto says, have a great day, everyone. And Jerry says, great. Now, Dustin has picanha. Now you can make my world-famous carnivore hot dog. Picanha bun wrapped around the beef hot dog. Fabulous. I'll have to do that with one of my subsequent picanhas that I get. Because this one, I just want to see what I can do with it without trying too hard. Because that's really what's important. Yeah, and Marisa says, my dad is a cattle rancher in Texas, and unfortunately there are screw worms somewhere in Texas. Hopefully they're going to fix that. I don't know, but hopefully they can get ahead of that. I don't know really what the whole deal is about that. But yeah. Oh, high blood pressure. Okay. HPB. Okay. HBP. Okay. All right. BBA was in the Navy, traveled a lot for 6 years. Amazing. I love it. Currently living in Kennewick. Sean was in the Navy as well. I was in from 90 to 96. I was an electronics tech while I was in. I love it. Sherry Lynn is in the house. Hello, Sherry. So glad to see you, my dear. How are you? Been listening in as I washed my car this morning. I love it. I love it. I love it. She was in 86 to 94. So you guys, there was some crossover there. Awesome. She was in Guam 90 to 92. Yeah. I think this is what most of us you'll find have this issue. Our relationship with food directly impacts our health, either positively or negatively. Type 2 diabetic, 100%. I, too, love my coffee. Yeah, keto can do, keto is not necessarily magic, but it feels like it sometimes. Yeah, our summer break is over on Wednesday, and then it's back to driving the kiddo to and from school. PG Talks is here. Hello, my friend. How are you doing, good sir? I hope you're feeling better. I'm glad to see you. Yes. And we've been doing this for 2 hours and 22 minutes. I'm almost done with my coffee. Oh, I love it. Everybody's saying hello to PG Talks, our good friend. I hope you're, like I said, I hope you're doing well. I hope things are kind of getting back to normal for you. I don't know what's going on. Now, you mentioned that you would be gone for a little while due to some health concerns. Hopefully those are making a turn for the better. Very important to me that you're feeling well. You're doing good. Yes. And BBA says, cool. She's saying Goldadonna that she lived there in second grade was Portland. And Donna's asking, are the fires in Canada still going? I'm sitting outside and can smell smoke. So obviously that I thought it had to be a neighbor, but just checked. No neighbors are burning anything. Yeah. Yeah, and PG says health and other stuff. Well, we hope that you get that all squared away and you are on the mend and things are turning a corner for the better. Again, that's what we're here for. It's love, support, as well as accountability. That's one of the big things that we're talking about today. Accountability. We're talking about not allowing things to overtake us. Yeah. And BBA is talking about fires. So many fires around us. I think a lot of the fires are actually in the U.S. and somehow we're still blaming Canada. I'm not quite sure what's going on up there. That we're blaming Canada, but I think some of the fires are in like Washington State and Oregon and stuff like that. Not necessarily fully concentrated in Canada, but I don't really know for sure. And Karen says, I quit my weak coffee 2 weeks ago. I've had a headache nearly every day. I'm debating whether it's worth it. I don't know. I mean, have you upped your electrolytes? And sometimes that caffeine withdrawal can last for a while. And I don't know, my solution to weak coffee is stronger coffee. Yeah, and PG is appreciated. Yeah, 100%. That's what we're here for. Oh, and PG says become more keto than carnivore lately. You know what? You're staying on track. That's the best we can ask for, right? I'm not a carnivore. I'm not saying that everybody needs to be carnivore. I don't believe that everybody needs to be carnivore. Carnivore is a good place to start. Same as, carnivore is a very valuable place to start because it kind of works as like an elimination. What's truly bothering you? What's causing issues? And then but I think that the proper human diet is a overall spectrum, and not everybody is going to fit into one piece of that spectrum. Some people are going to land on the outside where they're just low carb, single ingredient, whole foods, primarily focusing on protein and fats, all the way to some people really need that lion diet. But I think we need to figure out where on that spectrum truly where each of us individually belong. So it might be carnivore, might be keto. Ketovore could just be whole foods. It really shouldn't be. We shouldn't be so like. That's where, like, and I was kind of talking in the intro here of this, my long-winded intro about like the idea that we are labeling ourselves and we're like, I'm carnivore. I've got keto in my name, but that came from 2016. I didn't know any better. I didn't know I was painting myself into a corner. Wasn't a thought in my mind at the time. But here I am, living primarily carnivore for the most part because it's easier and I'm lazy. But that doesn't mean that everybody needs to be carnivore and we should be like carnivore. No, stop it. Stop it. That's not what we need to do here. And we need to be careful in how we label each other as well as ourselves. But I think with that, we've had a fantastic discussion today. We've had a fantastic turnaround. We've had a fantastic turnout, I should say, not turnaround, a turn out. Amazing people have stopped by to share love and be here and enjoy the show today and talk. And we've had a great conversation. We've done a wonderful thing today. Hopefully more people will hear these words that we're saying and understand what's going on, how we're trying to make things better for ourselves and our friends and family in this community. I want all of you to have a wonderful rest of your day and your endeavors. Join the live streams that are happening today. There's a lot of them. And thank you all for doing what you do, for being here, showing up, giving me the strength to have accountability, to have the reason and drive to do this channel and to do these lives every week. Thank you so very much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, everybody. And here comes the updated credits today. They're updated as far as I'm concerned. They may have just changed. We don't know. But here we go. I love you, and we'll see you real soon.